Portrait time. Mm-mm-mm. Yum, yum, yum. We're gonna wear one glove today. Hey Pink, how we doing? I think we'll go for one glove. Just to keep those pesky paints off my hand. On it goes. That should help. That way when I get a bunch of pigment everywhere, like that, it won't be on my fingers. We didn't finish the desert scene, but I've been craving a portrait lately. Craving a portrait. So we're gonna make a portrait together. It's gonna be a lady, an elderly lady, but it's gonna be beautiful. With that 1,000-yard gaze. That's what we're going for here. Okay. First colour. Grab our little toolbox of goodies. I love a little toolbox of goodies. Got the colour we want. Jet black. Now you may think it's already dark. It is. We're going to make it darker in a few spots. Here's our mix. Beautiful. I was making this morning. And we're going to get this brush. Perfect. G'day, RC. I'm doing good, thank you. Now let's get this blended up. There's our black, powerful black, powerful. Really let it spread itself out. You know, it's quite a dark image, all things considered, but we'll make a few little spots a wee bit darker. Hey, Valentina. All right. We don't need a whole lot of black to really start capturing our character either. And good to see you in here, Mike. Mike and Jules, hope you're both doing well. Now, if you have time, guys, this will be a fun one to stick around for. We're going to make a face from start to finish. But, if you can't stick around, provided it goes well, I'll relink the full replay and put it on YouTube. So, you won't completely miss out regardless. But, I've been looking forward to this one. I found a face that definitely makes me feel pretty passionate, and I want to capture it. See that there? That's why we're wearing gloves. It gets everywhere. Now, I'll quickly show you guys since we've got Mike and Jules already in the room. Voila. This is our face. So this is that 1,000-yard stare I'm talking about. And her face is not going to so much be these smooth contours in the picture. It's more going to be these deep cut, contrasting lines. These beautiful crow's feet through here. The asymmetrical nature of the eyes. The forehead, not just a flat space, but a really, really interesting wavy zone to play with paint. And down here in the mouth, mouths can be ridiculously boring. This whole area is anything but. The changes in directions and the amount of shapes that we can play with in here, it's going to be a really, really fun face to build out. Hey Jay, I'm doing fantastically. Now, if I did have a subject that I love more than anything, it is faces. It is faces. I love portraits, but not all portraits. I love portraits of seniors. People who've aged, people who have evidence of life on their face. That just capturing all the expression and weather and experience and love in their face, that's everything I love to do, more than anything else. So, and hey Connie, how we doing? Okay. Now when we kick off with this painting, we're going to start with a big brush, massive strokes, and then tone down smaller and smaller and smaller. So we'll notice big shapes first, but those wrinkles, they'll be the finishing touches that come into it. Run. I think I remember you in here before telling me to run. I forget. Anyway. And we will use a few of these fun little colours too. So these are some very, very expensive watercolours, but we'll add them in there only in the medium to final coats because they'll add transparency through it. And plus, if we're really feeling wild, we can add the watercolour on in absence of our binder altogether, just with a bit of water. And it will be very transparent, very weak, tacky a wee bit, but we can play with it and have some fun. Haha, yeah? All right. I was correct, I recognise the name. Now, you're going to love this. So, this is my paint box here. I've got a couple of paint brushes in here. I've got a oil pen for signing artwork. And you know how I talk about dress smart, paint smart? Well, this is a little bit embarrassing, but I'm going to show you. I've got some hair gel in my painting kit, and possibly the funniest part of my painting kit. And please don't judge me for this. My favourite part of this painting kit, I've got some Ralph Lauren cologne. And the reason this is in here is because if you feel great, you'll paint great. And I feel great when I smell great. So, it may seem crazy, but it literally makes me feel better. So, each to their own, it works for me. Now, next colour off the ranks is going to be blue. The reason why we're going with blue is I want to capture those deep dark shades, and blues just tend to do it best. Sometimes, if I couldn't have blue, I'd probably use green, but I wouldn't use red. We've got reds underneath at the moment, just in the priming process of the canvas, but red's so great for punching highlights that you sort of miss a trick when you add it to the canvas as a base coat. Blue, on the other hand, blue can be subtle and abundant in the background and have a good effect on the overall painting. Here we go. Mix that up. Beautiful. So there's our blue before we add it on. That's what we're working with. That's what we're working with. And we're going to use this to start spotting. few of those. There we go. And now I'm going to apply these strokes in a way that if it's the last stroke to be seen in that area, it'll look beautiful. What that means is I'm going to keep all these strokes looking lovely and wet. Wet and finished. And the reason why that's important is if we do want to leave any areas exposed while overworking other areas, it won't look like we just ignored certain areas. They'll look beautiful in their simplicity. And we're going to see me spotting a few of the early directional, and this is a fun thing, seeing her face, there's so many directions her face wants to go from those wrinkles and lines of experience. And so we get to play with that by creating this cross-hatch, mismatched disaster in all directions in the early capturings of the face. Cheers, Esteban, I appreciate that. And Ambaggers, Jay, welcome everyone. Jeepers, what a room full of people today. Everyone's getting excited about a portrait. To be honest, I'm pretty excited. This is, like I was saying, one of my favorite things to paint. Really provides me with a kick. And there's definitely, should I say easier, an obvious line of completion with a portrait. Have we captured the individual? Have we captured the individual? You keep asking yourself that until the answer is yes. And once the individual's captured, stop. Unless you set out with ulterior motives, once you've captured the individual, there's nothing more to be gained by additional brushstrokes. You know, some people make portraits. They do 3 big sweeping lines, and they call it finish on the spot there, which is fair. We're not doing a singular big line to try and bring this to a close. None of these strokes I'm doing will suddenly finish the painting off out of nowhere. It's because I'm ready for the long haul. I'm ready to slowly coach this lady's essence out layer by layer. I want to go through that process. I want to experience the time it's going to take to realize her face. Let me just get this around to here. And Jay, absolutely. I love portraits probably the most. Probably the most. Let's get a little bit wild here. Is that Oprah Pink? We're going to grab out some of our most saturated colours to play with here. I like having the glove though, because as you're reaching into these paint boxes and there's different colours all scattered everywhere, it doesn't get on your hand. Just make sure you don't get paint in your coffee, that's all. I do run the risk by leaving it under the painting. That's sort of a no-no. How much does the paint cost? These tubes are around $20 each. So this little tube here. So they're very small tubes, but there's very, very concentrated pigment in them. What I'll show you here, we're going to move into purple anyway, so it won't matter. Pink on blue. Now let me just get a little bit out of here. Come on. Sort of need more than that, but I need to squeeze it with both hands. I'll bring it back to show you once it's on the plate. Here we go. Actually, it might be easier, it's a bizarre tactic, but to roll it that way. Come on. There we go. So that there is about all we need. Just a little bit. Yeah, well, it's not normally that hard. The reason why I made that look a lot more difficult than it is because, guilty as charged, I left the lid off that tube and it hardens. So that was bad practice, not looking after paints on my part. Right, righty-tighty. Got our paint here. This is going to come out in more of a purple colour as well. It looked like pink, and it was, but we're putting it on top of blue there. So it's going to go purple first, and then as time goes by, it might swap gently back onto a more pinkish tone, but it's certainly committed to that purple colour. A lighter purple, beer. Let's see, watch this. As I dabble more onto that pink. See what we get out of that. That's what I'm after. Lovely. Dabble with that through there. Ooh-wee. Then up through here. That's her here, looking beautiful. I'll put it right the way over the top there. I don't mind getting a bit of pink in the hair either. I think that's kind of fun. That's her hair there. Can you see that all right, team? Yeah, you've got a little bit of a visual there as we throw colour after colour on this thing. We might just build out that lighter tone through there a little bit too. Down the face here. There we go. And then she's got this thick coat going on here. That's going to take a lot of thinner overlaying. Get that thick, voluminous feel that it's got. Beautiful. Beautiful. A little bit of this one in here. Give you a bit of red. You're in love with this colour? Cheers, Clover. Yeah. You wait for this one. Here we go. This is going to be fun. Here we are. Give me that pop. That's what I'm after. We're not trying to get the whole face either. We don't want to get hung up on an area. We want to get distracted, sidetracked, lost on little lines as they tour around her face. So we might spend a little bit of time on the ear. Not get bored, but distracted, move away. Up here in the hairline, follow that line down as it captures some of the detail in that background. And then noticing the eye a little bit, just a little bit though. Not overdoing any of it. You can see how, even already, you can start to see how that blue, purple, and red are already getting, although there's no face to be grasped just yet, are already getting that feeling of depth into it. There we go. Bit more. There we go. Beautiful. All right. Should have worn a glove on both hands. And cheers, Zeke. Thanks, Kayla. Well, we'll see how it goes. Give it some time, and a face might appear. Might appear. Or it might not. Right, next colour off the ranks. Naples yellow. Let's do it. And cheers, guys. We just made, we've only been here for a hot minute, and we're on 1.4 thousand lakhs. And we can't even see the picture yet. That's exciting. This might be a bit more revealing. We're going to move to a smaller brush, drop it, pick it up before anyone notices, come back here like nothing happened. You see her already? All right, Brian's onto it. Well, you're doing better than most, Brian, because we're in a very, very wild stage. So we won't show the picture again from here on out. This is going to be... Don't worry, Joe. I'll upload the replay if the picture's any good. But this is where we're going to... Lost my trail of thought there, but now we're after some... Yes. We're after some of the characteristics there. This is my palette. Really fun. Look at what I'm dealing with right there. We got purples. We've got yellows swirling around the Naples, and a lot of transparency to play with. This is very naughty. I know I said I was going to come and do these wrinkles later, but the problem is they just keep staring at me, and I just want to do them. Sort of like when you see something that you just personally have to do. That's me with these. I'm going to put them down early. It's going to impact what the final piece looks like. But you know what? I want it. I need to add some of these expression pieces rather than just avoiding them. There we go. Beautiful. And creeping up here over the eye. What? Be careful not to put it on too thick with the viscosities as thin as they are. Because it will just try and run. There we go. And then just down in here, that's that hair heading off into the distance there. You see koi fish, look at you go. Always love the colours, I appreciate that. Colour is my favourite thing. Favourite thing in the world. I do often wonder, I know we do the example of if painting didn't have a result, would you still be a painter? Yes. If painting didn't have colour, would I still be a painter? Would I see a point in it? Would I still desire to make art? I don't know. I don't get... Sometimes as a utility, I do add on those... I mean, I was playing around yesterday with the burnt siennas and the raw siennas, and don't get me wrong, these are beautiful colours, but they lack that pop, that intensity, that oomph. And because of that, I don't know, if you told me for the rest of my life I could only paint with raw sienna, red ochre, burnt sienna, Mars black. I don't think I'd do it. I don't think I'd do it. And that's really interesting because that helps you understand why you're here in the first instance. And in my case, I'm clearly just addicted to colour. Okay. 1970s doctors addicted to Camel cigarettes. Probably not the best example, but I'm working off the spot right now. Now let's see here. Technique is confused with art, like physics and chemistry. Fair enough. You see a face coming through. Not yet, it's not intentional, but there will be a face. Although I always like it when the whole face isn't given away straight away. It wants to slowly nurse itself out with different features. You want to see the collar, the ear, the part under the eye, but somehow it looks like an eye even though the top's not there. A brushstroke that seems to indicate that there's maybe a nose or a cheek or something there, but there's not enough context around to fully grasp it. So you get this idea or this feeling, but you can't see it yet. I love that. And that's fun, not in terms of an optical illusion trick on you. That's fun for me. Because once I can see the face, I want to stop. So I don't want to see it. It's almost like a dance, a cheeky, where are we heading? I'm not sure, let's play. It's foreplay. It's foreplay before a completed painting. So, yes, you might start to see brushstrokes that are intentionally driven to capture certain moments, but no. No, we don't want the whole face yet. You won't see me suddenly get over intense and need to capture eyes, nose, mouth. There's just too much beauty to look at before that. And cheers, Joe, I appreciate that. The inspiration behind this, yeah, well, good question. One of the big things that inspired this is I've been doing a lot of scenes, a lot of landscapes, and a part of me just craves portraits. And when I crave portraits, I crave old portraits. And I love it in black and white, actually. I love a portrait in black and white because what that lets me do, and sometimes I'll turn a portrait to black and white just to be able to see it without colour. So that way I get to choose the colours. So every colour I choose wasn't influenced by what I can see in the picture. It was entirely my own little crazy mind sitting there whittling away on what it wanted the picture to be. Completely uninfluenced by its predisposition of what it thought the picture should have. She could be in blue light, red light, green light, anything. But she's in my light. I'm going to make her exactly as we see fit. There we go, just get that brush a little bit wetter. There we go, beautiful. And that's going to sneak up over there like that. But then there's still a wrinkle there. Yeah, there we go. And then across the top. Beautiful. Where else are we going to go? Just in here. Lovely. Set it on tonight. Set it on forever. beautiful. A lot of light through here. We'll cut back over it in the darkness, but black or white or another influence? Don't understand the question. What are the portraits, Ryan, do you mind asking for the UK? Adam, portrait to the UK. We can absolutely do that. You want to jump on the website. There's a commission form there. And from there, you can tell me the size you're after. Send me through a picture of the portrait. And we can see if we can put it together. But that way I can get you shipping and things like that, all the costs included on the scale of it. If not to even get the commission, just to get an idea of, sometimes it's like landscaping in the garden. Sometimes you don't want to start a whole landscaping project, but you just want to talk about it and chew the fat on what could be possible. And I might say, hey, I love this picture. Here's the way I'd attack it. Here's the way I would produce the picture. Here's what I'm inspired by. And you'll say, oh yeah, okay. Actually, I'm going to put that on ice and just think about this some more. Or maybe I'm not the right artist. Maybe now that you hear the way I want to go about it, you think, no. There's an artist who actually ticks these boxes perfectly for me. But I love the fact, sort of like an ex-boyfriend or girlfriend, you needed them to realize what you did want. Hold on, Shelby's just walking around downstairs. We'll see if she looks up. I got it. Now, having a look at the picture at the moment, thick brush strokes everywhere. Now, the fun thing about thick brush strokes in the picture is we get subtle detail in between the thick brush strokes. So if you look at this picture here, what's really fun about it right now, and you may start to see the woman's face, you don't see it because of the thick brush strokes that I've added. Where you see the woman's face from is the gaps in between the brush strokes. So you see all these thick, obnoxious brush strokes all over the picture. They don't show you a whole lot, but what you do see is every time you look in between these brush strokes, it's those dark areas that are untouched that describe where the eyes, the crow's feet, the face, the mouth, the forehead might be. So the only way to get that is to commit 100% to painting exactly what you see and not what you think you see. As soon as you paint what you think you see, these bold strokes are going to land everywhere where they don't want to be. They're going to try and realize the fact that there's wrinkles there without instead capturing the shapes they need to focus on. And we wouldn't capture the detail in what we didn't touch, because the areas that actually gain the most attention for us, that tell us the most about her, are those areas we didn't touch. So if we over-focus on it being a face, that would be all we could think about. Hold on for a second. Happy days. Cool. Sorry if it broke there for a moment. I got a lady picking up, I've got a painting in the studio. It's rare for them to actually stay in the studio, but it's been picked up from the studio, which is kind of cool. Usually they ship, but anyway, she's picking it up on Friday at 5 p.m. in the text. So that's cool. We'll be back down to our 2 works in the studio, which will be fun. Jay, no, I haven't. I have not, but I was fantasizing about a book, Jay, and you'll like this. The book I was going to fantasize about was, I see endless art books out there, endless, with beautiful finished products and why they're beautiful and what they mean and how they should influence us and what they did influence. Where's the art book thick, chock full of unfinished pictures. And I've got a stack of projects that are not finished, that will never be finished, that were experimental, that were outcasts, rejects, incompletions, misfits. And rather than putting any picture that sold and was well presented and that people found beautiful, etc., whatever, that's sitting in some fancy house in Chicago, give me the misfits. Because part of the reason why I paint, and part of the reason, or the people that I want to reach and connect with and look after, a lot of the ones I feel like myself and they are sometimes better represented through these misfits, because each one actually has this intrinsic beauty in certain parts of it, but I couldn't bring it through to fruition. So anyway, the book itself would be entirely misfit, unfinished work, and I think that'd be really funny. Zeke, thank you very much. Jay, how you doing? Do you finish most paintings in a sitting? Look, it depends. Possibly one of my most locally popular paintings that went that's most popular here in New Zealand was 2.5 hours, and I was planning on doing about 10 layers, and I finished the first layer and stopped and was planning to come back to it, and then I wasn't allowed to touch it. They said, that's perfect, don't do anything else, it's perfect just the way it is. And I left it, and then it grew on me, and then it wasn't touched, and so I never planned to finish it in that moment, but in that moment it was finished. So pretty. I don't know if she is Zeet. I think she's just I think she might be European. I don't know. But she has age with her. The important thing here is the important thing here is actually on the story and the wrinkles of her face, and actually her experience as a human being from her birth till now. That's what we want to focus on. That's what I want to capture. There's a lot of identity we can get from race and culture, but in this case, I would like the story here to be time and experience of this one individual person. That's what I want. Here we go. We're going to keep going with this colour for a little bit longer. I wonder if I actually dab down briefly to a smaller paintbrush. Going for half the size again. Connie, it is. And I think there's been something lost in today's culture, online or in social media, or we've got this idea of beauty in our heads, of what beauty looks like. And there's some amazing cases. The mother in Mamma Mia, #1, is a great example, that actor. But aging with grace. Everyone seems so determined to stay like they were at the age of 20, and no one's wanting to actually age with grace. And there's something beautiful about having the privilege to grow older. And yet we're all terrified of it and we run from it. We get Botox, we get facelifts, we put on makeup. Not that these things are bad inherently in themselves, but the reason behind why we do a lot of these things can have the wrong intentions. If you've made it to 50, 60, 70, you're a fantastic individual with life experience. It's written on your face. It's written on your mind with the memories you've got. And why, for a second, you'd want people not to see that? Hello, Kristen. And, well, we swap between brushes, Cloyber. That's the way the game works. Let's get in here. Now, who knows what the next color is going to be? Not me, but before we expand into the next color, I'm going to overdo these Naples yellows. You'd be like, no, don't do that. But no, it's going to be okay. Overdo them, so when I come in with a different color and start establishing it and covering up some of these Naples yellows, I'll still have a lot of its beauty. Because the whole face will become lighter as we add on additional coats. Lighter and lighter and lighter. One little bit of paint at a time. There we go. Beautiful. And it just comes in there like that. That's there. Lovely. These dark areas, they're going to be really, really fun to play with. Not right now. I don't want to grab like a black and put it in there. I want it to be blue or purple. Something with a deeper shade. Something that doesn't have this sunken, harrowing feel. I want it to have this beautiful, deep feel. And you'll be very careful around a face how you capture that. Because it's colour, I think, that'll change the vibe from being sorrowful, sunken and sad, or beautiful, 1,000-yard gaze. And I had another word to add on the end there, but I forgot it. Sunken and sad or beautiful 1,000-yard gaze. It's going to be colour, the separating factor. Perfecto. Yeah. But I believe if we try and live each moment we've got, it sounds so cheesy to say it, but live each moment you've got to everything that it can be, then you can be there in old age. I wouldn't say with zero regrets. I don't think that's possible, but with few regrets. The ability to love yourself and love who you've become. And the fact that a lot of people don't get the privilege to make it to old age, who would love to be in the position that we're in, the entitled position of existing. So if you can do that with a smile, you're in for a good show. I can't wait if I can live all the way through to old age. And then I want to sit there and watch. Watch what happens. Watch the good in the world. Watch with a smile. I'd love that. Whew. Now we're going to add a little bit of red into our Naples yellow. It's going to make it similar to this colour through here, not exactly on the violet, but pinky, hot pink, I think is the best way to put it. The past is regret, the future is anxiety, live in the moment. That's one way to put it. Past is history, tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift. That's why they call it a present. The present. Here we go. There we are. And then can come around here. Sneaking down through there. Got to always remember too to keep these strokes nice and bold. It's a temptation to let them slip into smaller scratches. But this face isn't made up by a small amount of chicken scratches as much as it is bold expression over long periods of time. So we need to capture that. There we go. And then up through here. Now we're talking. Now we are talking Kung Fu Panda, yes indeed. Master Shifu. I think it's actually Master Oogway who says it to Kung Fu Panda. Shifu wasn't there. Shifu gets the whole tale about inner peace. Shifu doesn't need to. Shifu's living in the moment, but he hasn't found peace in the moment. So he's on a very different trajectory to the panda. But the beauty in it is that you can be on different pathways, but you can both help each other on your individual journeys. I see so much rhetoric online that you need to surround yourself with people just like you to achieve your dreams. No. That's not true. You can have people who are very, very different from you and succeed together. Shifu and Kung Fu Panda are a good example of that. So, rather than surrounding yourself with people exactly like yourself, I think you're surrounding yourself with people who love and care, have their own dreams, aspirations and desires, and who it's a gift to actually see it from their point of view. Because there's no way that everyone worth knowing shares the exact same point of view. That's impossible. So don't think it's a red flag when you meet someone who doesn't share yours. If anything, you've been given an opportunity not to convert them, but to appreciate them and their difference. You don't need to celebrate it. Just need to listen and accept it, that's all. We're going to put down that plate, and now I'm going to grab some more blue. Blue, baby. Alrighty tighty. What's that you're drawing? Jade, this is a face. Lovely to have you back. Hope you're well. Cameron, welcome on in. And welcome on in, Sean. I have friends of all colours, sizes, rich, poor, and all the in-between. Perfect. Good way to be. All right. Let's get. Just see if I've got it. I'm after a baby blue. But I might settle for an ultramarine. And be like, that is not baby blue, Sebastian. But it'll be good. It'll add that depth into it. Lovely, lovely depth. For the first time in this picture so far, we might even encroach in on these eye spaces, which traditionally so far have been left completely blank. Which is funny, that a face could reveal itself, but at the moment, it's only revealing itself within the wrinkles of the face, within the wrinkles that make the face. There is no eyes, no nose, no mouth. Those areas are still dark, blank canvas that have remained untouched. She's defined by the expression, which I think is pretty cool. Bear with me for a second, guys. I'm just going to move this light. I hope that's an improvement. Got my hair's unruly today. Usually I got some hair gel over there though if I lose control too much. We can get it back under control. But it should be fine. Dylan, you'll be okay. There'll be a replay. You haven't missed a whole lot, although it may look like you have. It's actually still quite early in the piece. There we go. Now we're going to actually dabble just in here. There we go. And then that's going to encroach down through there. 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 Lovely. Again, the biggest challenge here is not drawing the eyes, but ignoring that the eyes even exist and just creating shapes of what we see. There we go. Beautiful. Is this your full-time job, Dylan? Yes, it is. Welcome on in. It is my full-time job. This is what I do all the time, every time. All day, every day. Not always live. There's tons of stuff in the background to do. Setting up prints. That's why I closed the print shop for a period of time, so I could focus on making the art. And all the basic business stuff. Things that don't change in business. Accounts, invoices, all the basics. But sometimes we just get to come back to the basics. To where the hammer actually meets the anvil, which is just the actual application of paint, the pleasure of creating. And hopefully, I always get the privilege of being able to do that. And if I do, I'll forever remain a happy man. There we go. And see, we're getting quite bold with the blues. Not afraid to get bold with the blues. Rather than doing a sort of weak push to the throat, and glorify it with a few wild strokes in there. I think that's fun. Yeah. Branch out this part. Nice. Beautiful. I'm going to encroach in here. Add some fun. So this is ultramarine blue. Latin for beyond ocean. One of my favorite names for a paint. Oh hey, that blue's so saturated and amazing. What do you want to call it? Let's call it beyond ocean. As far as we're concerned, it's more than the ocean can offer. That's how cool they thought this color was. Stop before the blue. Well, you can stop whenever you like. But, like I say, you can stop, but there's a saying which goes, sorry, I lose my trail of thought here. There we go. It's a saying which goes, how does it go? You know a painting's finished when you love what it is more than you wish to see what it can become. I still wish to see what this can become. I still wish for it to go further. I'd still risk this whole painting to see what another colour would look like on its surface. So with that in mind, it's not finished. Not even close. But once I couldn't care about what it can become, once I'm not worried about what it will look like, at that stage, I'm happy enough with my current concoction that I want to take it no further. And that's when it's finished, for me. There we are. See this blue coming in here? It has an amazing effect. Somehow, although it's lighter than the underlying brown, somehow it goes deeper. You wouldn't expect that. You'd expect the brighter tones to stay on top, but actually it pushes deeper into the picture, which I love. There we go. Lovely. Where are we going to go next? There we are. J. I think I can do enough for the art teaching right here with you guys. If you become an art teacher at a campus or a school, yes, you can get 30 kids and look after them. But we've got 42 right here. And the 42 people who are here, hopefully, I can give you a little bit of a boost, get a little bit of paint on my shirt. Who's making 30 kids? No one's making 30 kids. But 30 kids are in a classroom, Dylan. There we go. Beautiful. Man, such a beautiful colour. There's very, very few pictures I've made where I haven't in some way, shape or form incorporated aquamarine blue. It's just too beautiful. Just can't afford to leave it out. There we go. And even the little corner up there, playing with it. Have a good one off. Thanks, Dylan. Your phone's about to die. Yeah, it feels. It happens to me too. Not this time though, I'm on 72%, but it does happen. To the best of us. Say hi from Indonesia. Well, if I said hi from Indonesia, everyone's going to think I'm from Indonesia. I'm not in Indonesia. I'm in New Zealand. I can say hi to Indonesia. It's like that scene from Monty Python where he's constantly correcting him for his Roman and tells him to write it out 1,000 times so he doesn't forget it. There we go. Beautiful. And that's our blue added, bring that depth into the picture. Now, the next color I want something with a bit of kick. A few of these areas still have black in them, but they want a lighter tone. Hello, Music is Life, all the way from London. Good to have you here. And watching while the phone's charging. Clever, clever. Okay. what to do next. Do I know Bali in Indonesia? Yes, I do. I've been to Bali in Indonesia. I've been to North Bali. I've been to Java. I've been up Mount Bromo. I've been across to Lombok. I've been up Lombok's highest mountain. Quinton, to get paint on my hands. I would be more picky when I don't have a glove on, so it feels good. And if you had to pick one artist that inspires you, who would it be? One artist that inspires me. If it was one person, I'm not even sure that it would be an artist. Hard to know. Hard to know. Let's put that down there. All right. Lombok and Bromo? Yes, indeed. Fun little places. Let's get this one off here. Now I'm going to use that same brush, or is it going to combine in too much? It's going to combine in too much. So wipe it clean. Wipe it clean. Wipe it clean. And you grab an even smaller one, all the way down. You overcook this one. Sometimes enough is enough. Well, sorry, Zeet. Unfortunately, you're wrong. Well, I appreciate your opinion. It's fantastic that you've got one. At no point on the creation of this picture have we fully captured her just yet. So we may never fully capture her, but any result between now and then that hasn't captured her isn't worth keeping, and therefore isn't a shame to lose. So we'll keep risking it over and over again, looking for her, looking for that face. But I see a lot of things in our picture that aren't here yet. You might say, no, it's a beautiful lady, you're wrong. You had her captured, you could have stopped. We had something captured, some random face that was probably fine, but we never had her. We're not here for a random's face. We're here for her face. And we'll stop at nothing till we get it. French Bulldog? It depends. It depends. We have to get it finished first. But first off, I would say if you're looking at buying something like this face, I would hold fire only because it's got a lot of twists and turns to go on. A lot of twists and turns. And you might not like what it becomes, or it may not become. What Zeet says might come to pass, and we might overcook it. And at that point, we'll have to all clasp hands, cry a little bit, and admit that although his timing was off, his or her timing was off, Zeet was in fact correct. Here we go. Zeet's like, well, wouldn't matter because I'm upset now. Gonna go find myself a new string because you're mean to me. Possibly. I think you'd be, next bachelor. Jeepers creepers. How does that happen though? Because I've got a partner already. I'd be a useless bachelor. You could put me on Survivor Treasure Island. But then again, I wouldn't be that great at that either. Can you imagine that? What are you up to, Seb? Well, I found these beetles and I found these berries and I figured out I can make this purple and orange paint, and then now I'm ready to start making artwork here on Survivor Island. You'd be like, no, mate, you've missed the point a little bit. There we go. Perfect. There we go. Perfecto. Oh, thanks, Jiggy Jigs. I appreciate that. Hope wherever you are in the world, you're happy and healthy. And it's an absolute pleasure to have you here. A little shadow there under the nose, which is becoming more and more prevalent as these wild, chaotic little layers go on. Because they are wild, chaotic little layers. There is very little chill. There we go. There's a shape that didn't get noticed. Then here on the chin. Yeah, we have to keep checking back, so we don't want to just add shapes in for the sake of adding shapes. We have to genuinely see the shape and create it. And Anna, hello to London. Hello music, jeepers. Your paint's so smooth, is it oil? No, this is egg tempera. So egg tempera is an emulsion made from egg yolk that lasts indefinitely. So to get the best quality, this is pasture raised, organic, top of the line hens. Now I know it costs more on the eggs, but you need to do that because it's important, not only from a moral standpoint, but from a standpoint of it's a far, far better product. You may not be able to taste the difference in the eggs so much, but trust me, when you're painting with them, there are good eggs and there are bad eggs. And you can spot it from a mile off. Now, the first thing this orange is doing, as opposed to the previous colours, especially the blue, is as it comes in here, it's turning that red from being a sort of stark, aggressive colour, and because orange is closer on the colour wheel, the two are now working together to create warmth into the picture, okay? So previously we had a bunch of wild colours. She had that sort of flat soil or like ochre look to her face. Now as the orange comes in here, we get that life aspect. We get that warmth in her expression. And that's what we're after. Now we'll navigate it more with more tones, but the orange is the first indicator of that occurring. Before the orange, she had a face, but it wasn't warm. So you gotta love orange for that. Gotta love orange for that. And thanks, Alfonso, I appreciate you, mate. There we go. But it's also important, team, when you're painting, to start out with really clear intentions, because as you're painting, you might get people saying, you've ruined it, you've gone too far, you haven't gone far enough, You need to change this and change that. And it's hard to know when it's you or your insecurities manipulated by the external world talking. That's why, if you set out with your intentions, I want this from this painting, I want X from Y, then when you get it, and you won't compromise on anything but it, you'll know it's time to stop. Worst regret you could have in terms of painting is continuing because of someone else's opinion or stopping because of someone else's opinion. As the artist, we give you a level of trust. Not vision, but a level of trust to see something or imagine something that maybe everyone else can't quite see yet. There's no paint police. Do as you will. I like that. I think we can start to see the face coming through it now. So we'll hold back on the reference picture and just appreciate what this face is going to become. And I'll tell you, I'll make a big song and a dance about it. I'll tell you when we've made it. But we haven't made it yet. Go. Doing a little bit of cross hatching here as well. There we go. E-tempera lends its style very effectively to cross hatching. I love the cross hatching. There we go. For the first time in forever. There we go. Perfect. Right. Let's get a bit more through here. For the first time in forever. Da-dun, da-dun-dun. Beautiful. Beautiful. Cascading. Yeah, this is what I wanted. More light in this hair. Thought I didn't want it. I was so wrong. I thought that Naples yellow and pink were enough. They were not. I'm gonna keep going at this hair with wild colours, one after another. Not afraid to actually etch it on. And cheers, Jay, I appreciate that. All right. No. I was never a bartender, Anna, nor was I a restaurant owner. I was the ops manager for a restaurant brand. And I did a lot of waitering. I mean, bar stuff, but more waitering. Talking to people. Trying to make their nights a success. In the same sense, I think painting was aided by it, not only by the use of a plate, but most importantly, by getting a built-in desire to want to make others happy, to please. Not in a way that's detrimental to self, but in a way that, for making art, you're charged for it with good intentions. All right. Next color. All right. Question is, what's it gonna be? What is it gonna be? What is it gonna be? For the first time in forever. It's a very stark color, that orange. So when you need a color that's not as stark, it matches the current palette. Big yawn. It's over here. Here we go. For the first time in forever. Phthalo green. You know what, Saint? That is as close a match to the point where you pretty much guessed the next colour. Very well done, Saint. Very well done. Now, phthalo green will come out as a slightly darker colour, but it's going to create a little bit of a balance with that aquamarine blue, which currently sits a little bit by itself. So think deep turquoise. Think deep turquoise, and that's the colour we're about to dabble into. With the smaller brush as well. Thanks, James. Appreciate you, mate. Alrighty, tighty. A little bit of this. Voila. Coming on up. Moving on. Moving on. Here we go. Deep, dark turquoise. You only need a teeny bit of this because of how powerfully potent the pigment is in these smaller tubes. And you'll also find, when I mix this, it tries to be much more transparent. Moving on up, moving on up, moving on up. Nothing can stop me. All right, let's grab, just quickly, for those of y'all who weren't here at the very start, cheers, James. Here's the picture we're working to. Voila, this is her. So let's just have a look-see here. If I move this forward to here, shump, shump, shump. Is that in the right spot? There's the right spot. Shump. So you can see there's a lot of depth and darkness in a few of these features around here that we want to get a bit more of. But I like the fact that it feels like there's a warm, touching glow on her face. This one here's got a lot of contrast. We've still got contrast, but less of it. There's a stroking warmth to it, as if the light's engaging with her in a more friendly manner. And one thing you'll notice here too is look at these eyes. They're lovely, but very asymmetrical. It's a weakness a little bit in me as an individual that you'll see me calibrate these eyes and balance them. That's a mistake. That's me struggling to see it as not a face. That needs even more addressing. So we'll dabble with that. Looking forward to it. Bye for now. See you, Saint. So fun face, fun face. One thing I will say as well is I've moved away from the gouache paste that I've been using. So the pigment that's been going on it has been big, strong pigment. Strong pigment means that when it goes on, it's very opaque for starters, but it is very, very raw and strong. I'm now combining very, very good watercolor with the egg tempera. Now this is going to give a very different effect, and there's a little bit of it up around here. The difference is the egg tempera with watercolor is going to be very, very transparent. And that level of transparency allows me to start layering colors and building depth into the picture with different pigments without the overcommitting of these massively bold, opaque colors over the top. Did I explain that very well? Maybe. Probably not. We're doing some transparent layering now. Anyway, I'm going to go to the bathroom quickly though, so I'll leave this here. And I don't know how to set a little timer, so I'll just hit the track and I'll be back. Yeah, I think a little bit of paint fell on there, Connie. That's okay, because it's a teeny bit of pigment, and none of it's got heavy metals in it, and it's just the egg yolk, but tastes off. Alright guys, I'll be back shortly. Look after yourselves. It's coming together, right? We'll keep playing. We'll see, we'll see. All right, back I am. I shall return shortly. Yeah, sorry guys. If anything proves along with the NPC, it's the bathroom breaks. There we go. I mean, do NPCs do that? Or do they, are I see a lot of NPC streams on TikTok. I wonder if they do just pause and go, all right, guys, I'm off to the bathroom and break character, or whether they NPC out of there to the bathroom. Regardless, I want every chance I did or I didn't take. Ah, there it is. All the times I went too far, all the girls that broke my heart. Da da dun 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 dun. To stop me from singing to myself, I'm gonna chuck in a little music in my ear. But if anyone here wanted to join, I'm gonna go for an old school playlist, one I haven't used for a year or two. It's called Paint Flow. So if you Google me, not Google, sorry, it's a loud whistle. Spotify, it should just be under Seb Gower, and you'll be away. Can you get a print of this, Jeru? When it's finished, possibly we'll make prints of it. But Jeru, I'll just say, I was saying earlier as well, it will change a lot. And so what you see now compared to what it might be at the end might be two different things. Although prints, the print shop is reopening in 5th of February, I think, is the set date I put on it. So you'll be able to order prints again from the 5th of February. And from there, we'll start putting in some of the new works that we've been doing in 2024, and I'll start phasing out some of the ones from 2023. Yeah, but we don't want to have a collection that's too many prints, or be doing prints all year round. With the only catch that if I do that, we get less time to actually be doing this together. So bear with me on that sort of stuff. I know some people missed out on the prints over the December-January period, and I'm sorry for that. That wasn't. I know the shut-off date on the prints, actually, it came up surprisingly fast. I gave a week, and a lot of people leapt on social media and saw it at the tail end and didn't get time to choose and things, and then the cut-off date came through. But yeah, so I'll try and give more warning this time. I think it's going to be 5th of February, but sometime around the early mid-February, I'll give more warning on the closing time. I'll give about a month, 4 weeks, I'll say, rather than just be like, right, pause, done. I understand that was a bit rough of me. Sorry guys, I'm trying to connect this Bluetooth here. We're going for a playlist called Paint Flow. It's not your typical bouncy music. It's the music that gets me in a flow state for painting. And there's one song in particular that I love on it called Van Gogh by, it's not the one by Don McLean. It's one by, track it down here. And it's one of the first songs I heard when I was getting back into painting in my late 20s. When I was getting deep into painting in my late 20s. It's by Pony Bradshaw. Right, there we go. Thanks, Paulo. Appreciate you, mate. Now, where were we? Green, baby. Transparent green. Here we go. It's one of those subtle colours. It slowly changes it. There we go. But because it's quite subtle, we can be more brash with it. Is that the right word? I think so. And the egg and the watercolour will actually serve as almost like a glaze on some areas. So you may see less of the green and more of the other colours being highlighted. That's also fun. Whew, guys, we just made it to 90 minutes. Doesn't feel like it actually. Some streams feel like they go on forever. Like I'm like, I'm gonna make it to 90 minutes. And I hit a psychological wall quite early in the piece. Other streams, the longest one we ever did was 14 hours. That was all long. Done a couple of 5 hours. 5 hours is fun. It's like you enter a capsule and just blast through. And then appear on another point in time. There we go. Beautiful. I might actually pick up this plate here. Do these colours still want to be dabbled with? I think they do. I think they do. Dun, 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 dun. There we go. Beautiful. There we go. This is just raw gouache at the moment. Beautiful. Ah, lovely. It's everything I want. Give me that raw colour. Dive in there and control it. Raw gouache, team. The most powerful pigmentation you could ask for. Unforgiving, but strong. There we go. Beautiful. And thanks, guys. I appreciate that. So this is raw Naples yellow, unmixed. There we go. There we go. A little bit more. Perfect. Now we'll load. It's cool too, as you add more plates, it becomes stronger. The base gets stronger. There we go. Whew. And we just hit 10,000 likes. That's exciting too. That's a lot of likes. How long have I been painting in my life? Well, I'm 31 now, so probably going on 29 years. And hey, sweet Linda. There we go. What's the next colour gonna be? I think we'll do one more colour. It's gonna be this one? Yeah, go on then. All right. Woo. Nothing like dropping a paintbrush, team. Really keeps you on your toes. Hey, Jessica. And there we go. This is powerful. Potent pigment. That's what we're after. Oh yeah. Whew. There we go. Lovely. Oh, thanks guys, I appreciate that. Red's popping. It's gonna add a lot of that warmth again. But it's straight red. It's not diluted at all. So it's got a lot of power to it. There we go. Beautiful. All right. Let's have a little look-see here in this little collection. We are going for yellow now. Or will we? Well, yet again. Am I going to try some elephants or try some zebra? It's a good idea. We've got one elephant print coming re-available in mid-February. Zambezi River, the original and the prints are sold out, but there's a few more Africa left. But yeah, some more elephants and zebras. They're fun. Portraits. Not just portraits of people, but portraits of animals too are all fun. All fun. Here we go. Perfecto. This is like saturated Naples yellow. Intensely powerful yellow. Here we go. So the key difference between the likes of oil paint, it's not oil paint, water paint, watercolor, and gouache is actually, for me, in the pigment. So in watercolor, the pigment's very fine, where in gouache it's quite strong and thick. The difference comes because the gouache paint, with that additional thickness in the powder, causes it to be very opaque, whereas watercolor, being finer, is more accustomed to being transparent. Both totally fine. Yeah, agree, Mark, agree. There we go. Mm-hmm. There we go. There we go. So what I'll do, let me bring you closer here, team. Come on in. Here we go. Right up into here. Now you're up close and personal with me, which is fun. Maybe even closer again. There we go. That's fun. And let's bring this over here too. Beautiful. And is that JC? JC, if you're interested in a piece, there's a link in the bio. Everything you need from there. Yeah, Zoom time, but this brings you closer as well. It's more of an intimate, personal session. So you can see up here, see the wild detail we're adding to it, how we're getting a little bit crazy. Like the colour mix on this painting. Thanks, Lee Mark. We have stayed a little bit more consistent with the paint palette in terms of, let's go, there we go. In terms of, we've got a wild bunch of colours, but I've tried to keep it. And now, when I tell you this, it's going to become abundantly clear, but I've tried to keep it centered around the primary colours. And now after I tell you that, suddenly, instead of being a regular face, you'll start to see the yellow, the blue, and the red become these totem poles that actually form the whole painting and become the corners of it. Theoretical corners. This here is egg tempera. So it's neither oil nor acrylics, but I do love them both. I have flings with oils and acrylics. Depending on where I am in the world, I keep sets of oil, sets of acrylic, but I always find myself back here using gouache. The pigmentation in gouache and egg tempera is unparalleled, beautiful, strong. And for me, like I was saying on that recent reel, I don't compromise on the power of colour. I want the strongest colour I can get. That strong, unbridled, ridiculously powerful pigmentation. That's everything I want. Everything I want. And thanks, Steve. Good to have you here, mate. Go back. Well, like I say though, team, I've said it before for this painting, but remember, this painting's on a journey. It may not go where we all have planned for it. We gotta try not to become attached to it, because if we become attached, our brush strokes will lose that wild quality, that sort of loose recklessness that we only had when we were children. Of, I'll do this regardless of whether it ruins or improves everything. And only when you're painting like that, with strokes of that reckless kind of abandon, can you truly make something unique and special. Otherwise, we run the risk of just applying paint in a crude form that'll just turn to another form of craft. Nothing wrong with craft. Nothing wrong with craft. But it's the worst thing in the world if your real pursuit is art. See, hard skills only get you so far. They give the ability to do whatever you want, but once you can do whatever you want, those hard skills become the greatest shackles you've ever had. And a great example of that's Picasso. Once he got all the hard skills, became an expert at painting in every way, could create whatever he wanted, he realized that they were the one thing that was holding him back, and the pursuit of painting like a child was everything that he wanted. And that was beautiful. There's a lesson to be learned there. Not that the hard skills aren't necessary. They are. They're incredibly necessary. but that actually we can put enormous importance on the pursuit itself and your ability to express yourself over and above how pretty a picture looks. Now we may, by someone's standards, have a pretty picture here. That's not what we're here for. We never came for that. If a pretty picture was all we wanted, we were better found on DALL-E or some AI picture generator. We're not after a pretty picture here. We're after an authentic representation of human expression. We're after a picture that says, in some small way, I guess Descartes, I think therefore I am, but in this case, I paint therefore I am. That's what this painting's trying to do. What it's trying to say. It's me trying to be me. I'm trying to put a message out there in the world that says, I exist. And it's my feeler, my reaching hand to try and connect with other human beings. Some do it through sport, singing, deep conversation, love, parenthood, work of all sorts of different forms. But my form has and always will be paint, in the hope that by adding paint to a canvas, I might be able to formulate those connections with people. And maybe the joy it makes me feel, the sheer joy I get from applying paint to a surface, might be able to rub off on someone. Rub off on them and improve their life in some way. Or, in some small way, make the current day a little better. Whether that goes from good to great or unbearable to bearable, both would be a privilege. Ha, yeah, Steve. It's the correlation is definitely formed in the colour palette. Those primary colours formulate in the face. And what I love most about that as a character is that when you use those primary colours to capture a face, especially elderly faces, you get all these wrinkles and moments of their character. And what you do is you combine it with the most basic colour palette. And the result is this elementary basic nature with a colour, but aged experience in the actual texture or the contrast occurring in the picture. Because these are not smooth cheeks. They're detailed, full of experience and time. And that's beautiful. I might move you back just a little bit. There we go. In case anyone's phone's sizing them just a little bit weird. The Arizona landscape, far from finished. Far from finished. But on the way. It's on the way. Here we go. Here we go. Lighter. So craziest strokes around this part. It's a coat. It's fur. Let the texture show it. There we go. And we'll pause there, team. Whoo-wee. Back you come. There we go. Yeah. Yes, yeah. That's one thing I really enjoy. That's the fun of a senior's face, is that all these areas on a regular face, they might be completely plain and smooth, become these areas of massive interest, contours and changes. I thoroughly enjoy that. But anyway, team, that's brought us through to our wild little conclusion. Really appreciate spending these last 120 minutes with you. And if you want more, there's plenty in the link in the bio or in the previous reels and things. And wishing you all the best from the NZ studio. Cheers, Mark. Cheers, Connie. Cheers, Steve. Look after yourselves, guys. And cheers, Brian. All the best. Bye now.